Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Miss Lydia from the Boston Library. Thank you so much for joining me for story time. Today is President's Day, so I have a couple of presidential stories to share with you. The first one is called Duck for President by Doreen Cronin, illustrated by Betsy Lewin. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of each day, Farmer Brown is covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. He doesn't smell very good either. The animals have chores to do too. Pigs clean under the beds, cows weed the garden, sheep sweep the barn, duck take out the trash, mow the lawn, grind the coffee beans. At the end of each day, the pigs are covered in lint bunnies, the cows are covered in weeds, the sheep are covered in dust, and duck is covered in tiny bits of grass and espresso beans. Duck did not like to do chores. He did not like picking tiny bits of grass and espresso beans out of his feathers. Why is Farmer Brown in charge anyway? Thought Duck. What we need is an election. He made a sign and hung it up in the barn. Farmer Brown must go. Farm election tomorrow. The next morning, Farmer Brown found a poster on his front door. Vote Duck for a kinder, gentler farm. Farmer Brown was furious. He ran to the barn and found the animals registering to vote. Voter registration. Voters must live on the farm, show valid ID, be at least this tall. The mice got together and protested the height requirement, so Duck crossed it off. On election day, each of the animals filled out a ballot and placed it in a box. The vote was counted and the results were posted on the barn wall. Farmer Brown, 6. Duck, 20. Farmer Brown demanded a recount. One sticky ballot was found stuck to the bottom of a pig. The new tally was Farmer Brown 6, Duck 21. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. Running a farm is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. Running a farm is no fun at all, thought Duck. That night, Duck and his staff started working on Duck's campaign for governor. It says, "Vote for me. I'm a duck, not a politician." Duck left Farmer Brown in charge and hit the campaign trail. He visited small-town diners. He marched in parade. He went to town meetings. He gave speeches that only other ducks could understand. On election day, the voters filled out their ballots in booths all over the state. The vote was counted. The results were posted in the local paper. Duck wins by a nose. Miss Governor, 299,999 votes. But Duck got 300,000. The governor demanded a recount. 2 sticky ballots were found stuck to the bottom of a plate of pancakes. The new tally was Ms. Governor, 299,999 votes. Duck, 300,002. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. Running a state is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in hairspray, ink stains, scotch tape, fingerprints, mayonnaise, and coffee stains. And he had a very bad headache. Running a state is no fun at all, thought Duck. That night, Duck and his staff started working on posters for the presidential election. A duck for a change. Duck making us proud again. Duck left his staff in charge and hit the campaign trail. He kissed babies in local diners. He rode in parades. He gave speeches that only other ducks could understand. He even played the saxophone on late-night television. On Election Day, the voters filled out their ballots in booths all over the country. The vote was counted and the results were announced on CNN. Decision America, Mr. President, 50,546,165 votes. And Duck, 50,546,170 votes. The president demanded a recount. 10 sticky ballots were found stuck to the bottom of the vice president. The new tally was 50,546,165 for Mr. President, 50,546,180 for Duck. The voters had spoken. Duck was officially in charge. Running a country is very hard work. At the end of each day, Duck was covered from head to toe in face powder, paper cuts, staples, security badges, Secret Service agents, and coffee stains. And he had a very bad headache. Running a country is no fun at all, thought Duck. Then he checked the help wanted ads. Duck needed no experience necessary, must be able to mow the lawn, and grind coffee beans. Duck left the president in charge and headed back to the farm. At the end of each day, Farmer Brown is now covered from head to toe in hay, horsehair, seeds, sprouts, feathers, filth, mud, muck, and coffee stains. And Duck is working on his autobiography. Our second book is called President's Day by Anne Rockwell. Pictures by Lizzie Rockwell. President's Day is when we celebrate the birthdays of George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. They were both born in February, many years ago. They were both very good presidents of our country, the United States of America. Grown-ups vote every 4 years to choose the President of the United States. Each person votes for the person he or she believes will make the best leader. They don't all agree, so whoever gets the most votes becomes president. We decided to put on a President's Day assembly program, telling the rest of our school some things we learned about some of our presidents. We worked hard getting ready, painting and cutting, stirring and cooking flour paste, and tearing strips of newspaper for paper mache. Sam, Evan, Sarah, and Michiko wore the mountain of paper mache we made. "Hello, everybody. We're Mount Rushmore," they all said together. The faces of Presidents George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln are carved 60 feet high on our granite cliff. Now each of these presidents will tell you about himself. I was George Washington. That's because my birthday is the same as his. I was born on February 22nd, 6 years ago, but George Washington was born more than 200 years ago. "Good morning," I said in a deep voice. "I led the American people when they fought to be free from the King of England. We won, so I was elected first president of the brand new country called the United States of America." Abraham Lincoln was very, very tall, and Charlie is the tallest kid in our class. "I am the 16th President of the United States," he said. "I kept the United States together when it split in two. I said, 'A house divided against itself cannot stand,' and I meant it. We fought a long war to keep our nation together. That's why it's called the United States of America. United means many stick together like one." Nicholas is a good writer who can always think of just the right word. When he came on stage wearing a red wig with a short pigtail in back, he just sat at a desk writing with a pen made of a feather. Everyone waited patiently while he scowled and scratched his head, crumpled pieces of paper, and tossed them into the wastebasket. Finally, he cried out, "At last! It's done!" He stood up, bowed to the audience, and said, "Good morning. My name is Thomas Jefferson, 3rd President of the United States. I wrote something called the Declaration of Independence that told why we wanted to be free from England. It's pretty good if I do say so myself." He started to read what he wrote, but suddenly Jessica came galloping out on a hobby horse. "Good morning," she shouted. "My name is Theodore Roosevelt, but you can call me Teddy. I am the 26th President of the United States. When I was a kid, I was sick a lot and couldn't go out to play. But when I grew up, I was healthy and strong and loved the outdoors. I wanted a lot of this big, beautiful land to always be wild. That's why we set aside more land to be national parks where plants and animals could always be wild." Paolo and Evelyn came out on stage carrying a long mural we had painted of giant redwood trees, the Grand Canyon, Old Faithful, spouting, and animals of the Everglades. The rest of us joined them: Mount Rushmore, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Teddy Roosevelt on his horse. We bowed while everyone in the audience clapped for a long time. Back in the classroom, we had an election. Everyone wrote the name of someone who'd make a good leader on a piece of paper. I wrote Pablo's name because he's smart and never mean. We put each piece of paper in a box. Mrs. Madoff counted the votes. The person whose name appeared most often would win the election. Guess what? I won. Just like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt, and today's President of the United States. Now I'm the president of Mrs. Madoff's class. When I grow up, I want to be the first woman president of the United States of America. Wouldn't that be great? After all, I have the same birthday as George Washington. I hope you enjoyed our presidential stories today. Have a wonderful week.